What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another budget video. So the month of August went by pretty quickly. I feel like it was just a few days ago that Brit and I were doing our August budget for the first time, and now we're already on to September's budget. Basically the rundown for this video is going to be, we're going to review what happened in August, kind of recap everything, review our actual expenses and how things panned out for that month. Then we're going to go over our September budget very quickly. Then we're going to talk about some more major changes that Brit and I have actually made to our budget style. I don't know if you guys remember, a few months ago we were talking about how we kind of set up our savings accounts and checking accounts at the bottom and our income and expenses, how all that's laid out. We introduced some sinking funds to all that. We've totally changed that again. Like we said, that was just kind of the trial and error process. We're just kind of feeling things out, seeing what works, what doesn't. So we'll be talking about some changes that we've made to our budgeting style a little bit later in the video. After that, we'll also be talking about some fairly large potential things that Brit and I want to buy, we want to save up to buy. No, it's not a Lamborghini like we mentioned on a couple videos ago, although we still want one. It's not quite going to be a Lamborghini yet, but that's still in the works for the future. So one more thing I'll say before we get into the video is that if you guys are interested in the way Brit and I budget, at least for August, our budget template will be linked in the description. It's totally free, no email address required. Download that and get started. There are also pretty detailed instructions within the template itself, just to kind of guide you through if you're confused about anything. So anyways, with all that being said, let's get into it.
So for August, on the left-hand side, you'll see the amounts we budgeted for all our items, and then on the right, in the red, is the actual totals. So for food, we had planned to spend $575. We actually spent $474.44, so we were under budget again, which was nice.
$100.
And then for our mortgage, we just round up, so $1,450. It's actually $1,449.01. For utilities, we planned $200. We were under at $166.64, so that was really nice. Gasoline, we had planned to spend $150. We were pretty far under budget for gas at $105.23. Health insurance is taken out of my paycheck, so there's nothing additional for it, so that's why it's zero. Auto insurance is $140. It was $139.86.
Yeah, auto insurance kind of goes up and down, and it's important to mention when we say auto insurance, we have car insurance on 2 cars and also like a personal property insurance plan, and I think one more thing.
Right.
And every now and then we'll get paid dividends from our insurance company. Our monthly premium will go down depending on if we get paid dividends or whatever else.
And for life insurance, we again rounded up for that. It's $12. And so that's $11.49 we actually spent.
It's just easier to round up to whole numbers over here instead of getting into cents and stuff.
And our phones was $0 because we prepaid the month before. Internet was $105. It actually came out to $103.69. So that was nice. Haircuts, we planned $35. This was just for Mike, and we spent $35.
Yep.
Gym, still $0. Fun money, we budget $60 for us to spend. We ended up spending $9.28, so not much this month. And then for my money,
Brittany pretty much maxed that out.
I did.
Yeah, we budgeted $40. She spent $38.29.
Yeah. And then for miscellaneous, we like to have this category in case anything comes up. We had planned $200. We only spent $106.13. House miscellaneous, so anything that comes up just for the house, we budget $200. We spent $105.57.
This is things like pest control, lawn maintenance, odds and ends, things we need to buy for the interior of the house, stuff like that.
And then furniture, we again budgeted $200, but we didn't spend anything yet. I'm trying to find things that are lower cost but still good quality, and it's just taking time for us to find something we both like.
Yeah, it's difficult to find furniture that both looks good and isn't like $2,000. And we'll also go with how our house looks. I don't know, I'm not a design guy, but there's traditional, there's modern, there's a whole bunch of stuff in between. I wouldn't say we have a traditional house. We don't have a modern one either. So
it's kind of in between. So it's trying to find that.
Yeah, finding furniture that will fit with how our house already looks and that matches well with both Brittany's and my tastes, and that's inexpensive. And it's also functional, something that we're just not going to be wasting money with. It's not going to be used at all. And lately with the job market being how it is, it's slowly picking up for me. We just haven't really been able to save all that much money every month. So furniture's kind of gone on the back burner.
Right. It wasn't a priority.
Yeah. Okay. So total this month, we estimated $3,367. We actually spent $2,744.63, which is amazing. Well under budget. At least for that portion of our budget. So if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you will know that we used to put medical stuff up here and car expenses up here as well. That has since been moved down here to this part of the budget. And this month we spent $420.90 on various medical things.
And then for car repairs, we didn't spend anything this month, which was nice.
Yeah. The bottom portion of our budget is kind of like the money that we have. Not necessarily our net worth, but just all the money we have in savings. So if you guys notice, we have way too many bank accounts too. We've
Yeah.
in our USAA account, we actually have 2 accounts with USAA. We just kind of combine them in our budget here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 bank accounts. And that's also something else that we've changed this month. We got rid of two that we weren't really using all that much. So we're trying to simplify things. Okay, so at the beginning of the month, we had almost $34,000, $33,797.91. We had a projected combined income of $4,017.50, around there.
Yeah, and this was an estimate.
Yeah, all this stuff is just estimates. Or in terms of our income and expenses, all this stuff is estimates. These are covered up because, as you guys will know who've been following the channel for a while, Brittany's under an NDA, and even though what's underneath here is just an estimate of her income, we're trying to cover ourselves legally as much as possible and still give you guys kind of an idea of how our finances work.
Right.
It's important to say that if you guys knew my income, you can figure out what we estimate hers to be, so that's why we cover both of them up. We also move a lot of money around between bank accounts during the month, so even if these like weren't necessarily blacked out, it would be very difficult to figure out exactly how much each of us earn, but we just do it just to protect ourselves as much as we can. Okay, so expenses, that's just this number right here. Business expenses I have right here. So total expenses for the month of August right here. This net column, this is basically our current plus our income minus our expenses. So this number is the amount of money we projected to have at the end of the month of August, which is also right here. $34,948.41 we estimated that we would have at the end of August.
So now moving on to our September budget. So you'll see it's pretty similar, and you may notice some changes, and we'll go over that as we go through it. So for food, we plan on spending the same amount as we budgeted last month, $575. Our mortgage, again, we rounded up to $1,450. Utilities, around $200. We do expect it to be warmer. Even though we are going into fall, it does get warm here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was in the mid-90s, like well into the later part of September last year. So we expect that to be the case here.
Yeah, so we know our AC is going to be running more.
Yeah.
Gasoline, $200. Health insurance is $0, because again, that's taken out of my paycheck. And auto insurance is $140. Life insurance, $12. And phones, $86. So we're prepaying for this month and next month as well.
Yep.
Internet, $105. Hopefully it'll stay around that.
But it'll probably be $103.69 again. We'll see.
Yeah. And haircuts is going to be a lot higher. That's because of me. We budgeted $179. I'm going to a professional for some hair color because I've not been having good luck on my own.
And then a regular haircut for me at $35.
Yeah. So for gems, still $0. Fun money, we budgeted $60. And for my money, again, $40. And miscellaneous, house miscellaneous and furniture, we all budgeted $200 for again, just in case we find something we like. We have it already planned for in our budget.
So total this month, $3,647 of estimated expenses. Let's move down to where you'll notice all the changes. We've simplified some things, we've added some things. Before, we used to have medical and car repairs in those sinking funds within our savings account. Just how it was set up on Excel, it seemed a little bit complicated doing it that way because we couldn't just have the total amount of money we had in our savings account. We had to have our emergency fund and then the money that we budgeted for basically the sinking fund for our medical expenses and the sinking fund for the car. And then if something would come out of those, we'd have to do all this stuff between Excel and like in our Ally checking app on our phone. It's too complicated. And at the end of the day, like Brittany and I know how much our 6-month emergency fund is.
And how much additional savings we have for our sinking funds for medical bills and car repairs.
So we moved those two things up here. And as we said multiple times before, like these two items, they have driven us crazy in the past because they're just things you cannot predict. And we'll probably have a few $100s in medical expenses this month, maybe closer to $1,000, I'm not sure. We have a few things going on medically this month, but like these two things are just like you can't predict them. Like your engine breaks on your car out of the blue, like you just can't predict it. So it was really frustrating for us having to try and estimate monthly expenses over here like we do for everything else for these two things that we have no idea what's going to happen. So that's why we had sinking funds for them, but they've kind of come up here. And what we're planning on doing is at the end of the month, just writing down here how much we actually spent on medical expenses and car repairs. So this number right here will be our running total for our actual expenses, just like it was for August. And then we'll add up these three things: medical, car repairs, and investing if we decide to do any investing. And then the grand total for everything will be right here. Next change, coming down here to our account list. We have all of our banks. You'll notice that 2 of them are gone, as well as the sinking funds, and that's just to simplify things. And now I just have the primary accounts that we use most often. So our personal Ally savings and checking, I've got business savings and checking, and then a couple of accounts we have at USAA. And then our total cash savings is right here at the bottom, $35,032.13. And then over here, that number comes over here, current total, our combined income that we estimate, right here next to it. Our expenses, that's just this number right here, $3,647. Down below that, and business expenses for this month goes below that. And then this number at the very bottom takes our current amount, add our income to it, subtract personal and business expenses, and that's what we get down here, which is then translated down here at the very bottom, $35,435.13. This also solves the problem of Brittany and I having to black out certain things that you guys can't see for our protection.
Right, because it's a combined income.
And it really didn't make sense to do that anyway, because like our income goes in separate accounts, but like our expenses are taken out of separate accounts as well. So like not all the expenses that we have are taken out of one account. They're taken out of multiple accounts. As we were saying before, like we transfer money back and forth between accounts all the time. We're hoping doing it this way will add a little bit more simplicity. We'll see. I don't necessarily want to make this version of our budget available to download yet.
There just may be more changes coming, and so that way if we find that it doesn't work and we update to a newer one that we like even more, then we'll put that on the website.
If you guys want this one, let me know. If there's a lot of people who want this version, maybe I'll make it available. The budget template that we have available on our website for free, by the way, if you want to download it, is basically the outline that Brit and I used for years, and it worked very well for us. It's kind of a tried and true system, and right now we're kind of just testing things out to see what works and what doesn't. So comparing the amount of money we have right now, and we're not filming at the very last day of August, it's August 30th. I may earn a little bit more from my business. We may have a few more dollars of expenses taken out, I'm not sure, but it's not gonna be too much of a difference. So this is the amount of money we have right now. Compare that to this number right here. In August, what we projected we'd have, $34,948.41 versus $35,282.13. We're a few $100s ahead.
Yeah.
So that's good. So at the end of this month, end of September, we project to have $35,435.13. So we're gaining a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. And that's mostly due to business expenses here. I've got to pay taxes this month. Which brings us into the last thing we'll be talking about in this video, and that's some fairly large plans that Brit and I have for our savings moving forward.
And what we're planning on saving for is what we would call assets. So anything we could buy that would bring us more money monthly, and help increase our monthly income.
Brittany and I have kind of been on this financial journey for a while, ever since we started becoming debt-free. How long ago was that? 8 years ago?
Yeah.
And paying off $120,000 of debt, and then moving to Hawaii, that totally changing our life in multiple ways, some good, some bad.
Some bad, yeah.
And then having to save up everything again, and then buying this house. We've learned a lot when it comes to money. We've also been doing a lot of, personal education when it comes to money as well. And basically our end goal is we want to be free. We just want to be financially free. We don't want to worry about, if we want to take a vacation, oh my gosh, how many thousands of dollars is that going to take? How much more time are we going to have to work at our jobs to make that happen? Or if we want to buy a Lamborghini, which I really do. It doesn't make sense right now to do that, but eventually I'm hoping we're going to get to the place where financially we could afford to do something like that. I don't want it to be a matter of, this Lamborghini is going to cost $100,000. That means we're going to have to put in this many hours of work and save this much money for this amount of time to pay for this Lamborghini in cash. I feel like that's the wrong mindset to have going about it. What Brittany and I are trying to do, like Brittany explained, is we're trying to buy things that will put money in our pockets every month, or create things that will put money in our pocket every month. So this YouTube channel has turned out to be incredible at doing that. And it's also something that we have to actively be working on, but it's a step in the right direction. If you guys are interested in how much we make from YouTube, I'll put that video up here. You guys can check it out if you want to. Brittany and I want to invest in things, assets call it, that put money back in our pocket every month, that pay us every month. So we're getting our money working for us rather than us continuing to have to work for our money day in and day out. The stock market would be one example. We have, some money invested in the stock market. I think Brittany has a little bit in her 401k.
And we also invest in dividend paying stocks, which gives us money depending on the dividend, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. So that's nice too. We're
also thinking about real estate, commercial or residential. We're not really sure yet. We're also thinking about maybe oil fields or a bunch of other things. There are a lot of things we have to research.
We're still very new to all of this. So we want to make sure we have a very good foundation education-wise about these things before we just buy them.
Yeah, but the objective is to either create or purchase enough of these assets to put money into our pocket monthly that we will not have to work at all in the future. Not to say that we won't work at all, but we won't have to.
Right.
And if we want to raise our cost of living, we just buy things to put more money in our pocket that allow us to raise our cost of living. So if we want a Lamborghini, we're basically like making our money work to make the money to pay for that Lamborghini itself rather than us working for it, if that makes sense.
Instead of trading our time for money, we're actually getting our money to do the work for us.
At least that's the 30,000 foot overview of how, in our ignorant state of mind right now, how we think all of that may work.
Yeah.
It may turn out to work totally differently.
So with all that being said, thanks so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you have any questions.
Or suggestions in terms of assets that we could buy.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. And also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at It's Mike and Brit. We post there every now and then, and that's it.
That's it?
I think so.
That's it. See you in the next one.
Bye.
If you guys are interested in how much money we earn from YouTube, I will link that video up here. You guys can check it out. Sorry, I put my hand right in front of your face. Okay.